What up guys, NerdScum here, and we are back to talking about comic books again today, because tomorrow, Marvel Legacy #1 hits the shelves, so we're going to take a brief look at a few select sections and have a little discussion about it. Now I do want to give a warning, there are at least two things that happen in this book that some people will consider to be massive spoilers for upcoming things in Marvel, so if you're worried about that, then go and pick up the book tomorrow, give it a read, and then come back and check out the video. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on in Marvel Legacy #1.
So we start off in 1,000,000 years ago with Mjolnir laying there and some cavemen trying to lift it. We hear a voice and a man approaches to claim Mjolnir. We discover that it's Odin and that he's been having problems with it. Then the Phoenix shows up and they have a nice little bit of banter before they go to get back to a fight with something that fell from the sky. And then here we see that they have a team. So it is Odin Allfather, it is the Phoenix, it is the prehistoric Black Panther, Star Band, Iron Fist, Agamotto himself, and the prehistory Ghost Rider. And they have all united to fight this giant Celestial. Well, all Celestials are pretty giant, but they've all united to fight the Celestial, who again is on a pre-humanity Earth. And they battled him and defeated him and buried him beneath the Earth. And this battle and this Celestial is the catalyst in this issue for the main story of Legacy.
There we pick up with the Legacy characters of all the people who had fought the Celestial. As they're kind of being drawn to the place where the dormant Celestial lies buried under Earth. And as we kind of go through their story, we also pick up with a lot of the other kind of Marvel Legacy characters, like Riri Williams, and we get to see Captain America, like Steve Rogers' Captain America, kind of like just wandering, through the countryside, like with his shield very conspicuously tucked into a bag that it can be contained inside of. We also see kind of Deadpool. Basically what you end up getting with most of this issue is like the first between page and 4 to 5 pages of key Marvel characters' books. Like, honestly, like most of these little segments should be the beginning of these characters' own books. But it feels like a lot of this is editorial mandate trying to set the universe in like one specific way and be like, no, for all you writers who are switching up books now and doing different things, this is where these characters are, and this is where you have to move forward from. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It'll definitely help add some cohesion and help kind of, direct things in one steady direction. But then we also establish that Loki is rallying frost giants for some reason, and he ends up sending them to Earth and attacking like a SHIELD facility, and they're trying to steal like a specific thing, and they pretty much just all get wiped out by what is looking like it's going to be the new lineup of Avengers, which at this point is just 3 key members in Sam Wilson, who right now in the book is still Captain America, but from what I understand he's going to be switching back to Hawkeye pretty soon, not Hawkeye, but Falcon pretty soon, so that's a little confusing. And then Mighty Thor, and then Riri Williams, who, I'm going to be honest, it was really cool with Sam Wilson and Mighty Thor kind of kicking butt, and then Riri shows up and just acts like a moron, making every page that she's in just about unbearable. Just unbearable, man. Like, I don't know what the plan is with her, since they're like putting her and Doctor Doom in their own book coming up, but like, they need to pull the trigger and just make her evil. Because a good example is, in this story, like, they team up and they become like the new Avengers and stuff, and they defeat the bad guys, and then like at the end of their segment, you get this.
Okay, they just saved the day. Falcon and Mighty Thor are back there macking on each other, and look at Riri. Like, they won. Nothing went wrong for them. Nothing bad happened. I think the most thing that, like, happened was someone called her, like, Iron Lady or something, and she had to correct them about her name. But this is not the face of, like, a kid who's pouting because the adults are off making out and macking on each other. That is the face of a sociopath who is planning on murdering everyone in the room with her. What the hell? What is up with that face? What the hell is going on?
But I digress. Anyway, the point is, the Frost Giants are just getting annihilated by the new Avengers. Not the new Avengers, but this newest Avenger... The Avengers, they're annihilating them. And finally, one of them is like, no, you take the box and escape. I will cover your escape. Just make sure we are remembered with honor. And he goes out there and gets killed, while the other dude flees to take the box to Loki. And then we get into what is our first big spoiler of this particular issue. And it plays out like this.
Boom. He gets hit by a semi-truck. Beer goes everywhere. He rips open like the vehicle trying to attack who's inside, but whoever's inside just kind of casually steps out, and he's like, I'm going to destroy you. And we get the reveal of this guy in the cowboy hat, and he's like, you're dead. And this guy's like, not anymore, I ain't. Schnick. Yeah. And then we go over to this page and we see Jean Grey. Holy crap, is that Jean Grey? She looks like something from the original Planet of the Apes movies. Holy crap, what is up with her proportions on this page? This is awful artwork. Not to mention that now we get to see the adamantium encased Wolverine, but now it's just the husk of adamantium. And yeah, Wolverine is back. He's using this Frost Giant's rib cage as a beer cooler, and then he finds the case and he opens the case and it turns out it's a frickin' Infinity Stone. Awesome.
That's right. Wolverine's back. And he's got an Infinity Stone. And he's a truck driver. And he's been back for a while. It happened off panel. Like, doesn't even really care. So anyway, yeah, Loki can't get the Infinity Stone because now Wolverine has it, so he's like, oh, whatever, I don't really need the Infinity Stone anyway. And then he just kind of goes and finds where the body of the Celestial is dormant underground and starting to awaken, and he's all like, we must summon the final host. And Loki's like, yeah, we'll totally do that, making you question why he bothered with the Infinity Stone in the first place. And then we get our second big reveal, our second spoiler of this issue, and it's kind of set up earlier in the book, but I decided to go ahead and just do these two segments right together, because they are both establishing and then paying off the same thing.
Annie and Ben are standing on a rooftop looking over the city, and they're kind of questioning, like, man, so much is going on these days. Do you think they even remember us? Do you think they even remember all that we did? And Ben's just like, screw them. What's important is that we remember. And they fire off a flare into the sky that ignites into the Fantastic Four symbol. You get this white-gloved hand reaching out to an unnamed universe. And we get the reveal on the next page that it is Valeria and Franklin Richards. And they are looking for a universe to explore as instructed by their dad, Reed. Which is really cool, except for the fact that you're my sister, Buttface. You are my business. And then she calls him a fart head. And then she's like, yeah, I'll see y'all soon.
Yay, Fantastic Four? And yeah, that's the end of the book, guys. All in all, we got a really interesting start. Kind of a collection of really good, kind of mediocre, and some really awful artwork. A lot of it is just playing catch-up with stuff that we kind of would have already been jumping into in these characters' individual books. And I'm still uncertain whether this is going to be like one story in a self-contained multiple series, or if this is just like the relaunch, kind of like the DC Rebirth one-shot was. Where it's just kind of like, oh no guys, this is what you need to know, and these are all the places, and these are all the people involved. But all in all, for as much as we were told that this was going to be something like big and new, but also like a return to the classics, which has been making a lot of people say that it's going to be Marvel's version of DC Rebirth, also because it's called Legacy and it deals heavily with legacy characters. This is not DC Rebirth. This is not Marvel trying to mimic DC Rebirth. I think maybe they used Legacy and some of the other like vocabulary that they were using in their press releases to kind of evoke that feeling in people, to kind of suggest that's what they were doing. But I'm going to be honest, this book is the same garbage we've been getting from Marvel Comics for the last year or two. In places, it's higher quality than some of it, but in terms of content, and in terms of misdirection, and in terms of selling us something that's non-existent, it is the same thing. They even do the same thing that they were doing in Secret Empire. Jason Aaron in this book does the Nick Spencer thing, where he does all throughout this deep philosophical like dialogue of the narrator, which not only is talking about like the story, but it's also very metatextual and is talking about the comic book industry as a whole. In fact, like right before we get the reveal of Franklin and Valeria Richards, we get this little number right here.
So now what do? I suppose we do what our kind has always done, what has become our legacy. We stand on the shoulders of super geniuses and space gods, close our eyes and imagine a better, brighter, more amazing tomorrow, and then bring it to life. Something grand and fun and mind-staggeringly ridiculous and full of hope and compassion. Something both real and profoundly unreal. Something mad, something magical, something fantastic.
While that's really, really good writing, and it sounds really cool, like, basically all that is him being like, yeah, like, we're just gonna build on all the stuff that you love that was before, and we're gonna imagine a better world and make it. And it's like, yeah, that's cool and, like, inspiring, or at least it wouldn't be if you hadn't been proving to us over the last 2 years that Marvel as a company is incapable of making this brighter future that these comics and characters and creators keep promising us. All we get is the same stuff repackaged. Having said all of that, there is some interesting stuff in here. I don't know if I'm going to keep up with this. I'll probably read like whatever happens next. There is some stuff coming out in this new Marvel line that I'm interested in. I'm interested in Spirits of Vengeance, the new Punisher book, as well as a couple of others. But Marvel Legacy has done nothing to get me excited about jumping back into the story arcs of these characters. Yeah, and that's really all I have to say about it. I know that this time around I used a lot less clips of the actual book, and I talked more about it. But mostly that's just because it's a long book, and in truth I did not think it merited it. But that's just my opinion. Go check the book out tomorrow, guys, and let me know what you thought. Did you like it? Do you think I'm out of my mind and crazy? Was this the best thing you've ever read, or is it just more meaningless dribble? Let me know down in the comments. Make sure to like the video if you liked it, and share it with some friends. As always, guys, thank you for watching, and I am NerdScum. Out.
Well done, pathetic scum.